Hello everyone, I'm Chaohua, a data analyst from market analysis team. Today I'm going to share some of the hot market dynamics happened in previous months. Okay, then let's go to the first news. The first one is about the investment of battery storage. Investment in battery storage reached $20 billion in 2022, expected to see a growth of 85% to $37 billion in 2023. In 2022, expenditure on battery storage exceeded $20 billion, with the United States, China, and Europe accounting for 90% of spending. In total, spending on battery storage in China tripled in 2022 to almost $8 billion. 2023 expected to see this increase to $14 billion on the back of favorable economic utility-scale battery storage and strong policy support. In Europe, investment in battery projects is rapidly gaining ground, reaching $5 billion in 2022. Spending in the United States totaled $6 billion in 2022, 50% more than the previous year. Expanding battery storage investment are more than double in the US to $13 billion in 2023. Okay, the next one is the negative electricity price in Europe. In early July, there were negative electricity prices throughout the day in Europe, with Germany and the Netherlands experienced prices of minus 500 euros per megawatt hour for some hours. Combined with the BNN, Bloomberg, and industry vertical media renew economic news as the number of the local PV panels continues to grow. On the 2nd of July, the European Electricity Exchange EPIC support SE. Most countries showed negative prices all day. In comparison, the Netherlands is the most negative, with an average of nearly minus 90 euros per megawatt hour throughout the day. Germany is the next, at close to minus 55 euros per megawatt hour. Both countries hit the lower limit of the market's allowed quotation, minus 500 euro per megawatt hour at noon. Other countries are mostly below but near zero, including Belgium, which rarely had negative prices. Then let's have a look at the reason why the negative prices happen and what the influence will be. The formation of negative electricity prices mainly has the following three reasons. One, electric storage is too expensive, in particular energy storage on the grid side. It's very difficult to break out in the short term, and household storage and small business can be insufficient. Generating downtime is too expensive. Another of power outage is not healthy for the grid, and the cost of downtime outweighs the savings. Three, the price is determined by the relationship between supply and demand. When the peak of wind electricity output is generated, the power supply exceeds the low demand and negative electricity prices occur. Through the phenomenon of negative electricity prices in Europe, we can see that the geographic range of time span of negative electricity prices are expanding, and the volatility of electricity prices is becoming larger and larger. Energy storage sale prices continue to decline and absorb difficulties, taking into account of the stability of the grid. Scenarios pure grid will control the speed, scenario allocation, and storage ratio is the trend. Household and small business are expected to increase rapidly. The third one is the monthly PV installation in China. China's single-month PV installation reached a record high of 17 gigawatts in June, with 78.42 gigawatts installed in the first half of the year, a YoY increase of 154%. On the 19th of July, the National Energy Administration released statistical data on the national power industry from January to June. The data showed that China's PV installed capacity in June was 17 gigawatts, a year-on-year increase of 140%, and month-on-month increase of 33%, setting a record for the new PV installed capacity in a single month. In the first half of the year, China's cumulative PV installed capacity reached 78 gigawatts, an increase of 154% year-on-year, reached 90% of the total installed capacity of the last year. After experiencing a continuous decline in industry chain prices in the early stage, the strong wait-and-see sentiment among consumers had led to a decrease in installed capacity in May compared to the previous month. In June, it can be seen that the installed capacity had rebounded. At the same time, according to the EPC bidding situation, it can also be seen that the EPC bidding volume in June had increased compared to the previous month, which indirectly proved that end consumers have accepted the current price reduction trend and starting projects. As prices gradually stabilize in the later stage, it's expected that the annual installed capacity can exceed 130 gigawatts. The fourth one is about the US market. Longi module made of Tongwei polysilicon have been excluded from entry to the US. Under the enforcement of the Overhaul Forced Labor Prevention Act, US Customs and Border Protection had reportedly excluded Longi solar modules made with Tongwei polysilicon from entering the US market, according to a recent industry note from Russell Capital Partners. Prior to the exclusion of these goods, any imports sourced from Xinjiang region of China, responsible for a little less than 50% of global production, would be barred from entry. However, it was unclear whether other Chinese suppliers outside the region would face similar trade and market bans. According to data from the US CBP, most of the modules pending and released since March 2023 have come from Malaysia, and the quantity of products from Vietnam is very small, which indirectly proves that Longi is temporarily holding a wait-and-see attitude toward the US market. The fifth one is about the SPAN market. SPAN, targeting 56 gigawatts of new solar by 2030 under new energy strategy. On the 30th of June, SPAN's Ministry of the Ecological Transition and Demographic Challenge had published a revised draft of the National Integrated Energy and Climate Plan with a target of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 32% compared to 1990, surpassing the previous goal of 23%. To meet this target, the new energy strategy outlined a plan to have 214 gigawatts of total installed capacity in the electricity sector by 2030. It includes 160 gigawatts from renewable generation, 2022 and 22 gigawatts from various forms of storage. It emphasized the potential of PVs, projecting a capacity of 76 gigawatts by 2030, including 19 gigawatts for self-consumption. The previous version of the plan aimed for 39 gigawatts of solar PV capacity. At the end of 2022, the PV source had reached 20 gigawatts, indicating a need to deploy an additional 56 gigawatts in the next 8 years. Okay, let's look at the next one news. The sixth is about a manufacturing factory in Indonesia. EG Solar announced that it will build a 5 gigawatt cell and 3 gigawatt module factory in Indonesia. On 23rd of June, EG Solar announced that it has signed an agreement with Indonesia-based PV kawasan industry Tapadu Batam for a period of about 8 years as EG plans to build a 5 gigawatt cell production facility and a 3 gigawatt module manufacturing facility in Central Java. Indonesia investment for the project will be about $500 million. The project will be developed and constructed by HEW Solar Manufacturer Indonesia, a joint venture company established by HET and Indonesia Renewable Energy Investment Company (HEW Group). According to relevant plans, the cell production line in the first phase will be used to vertically supply at EG's module factory in Houston, Texas. To ensure the traceability of the supply chain as the planned progress and the first phase of factory construction will be completed in Q2 2024. At EG, as of the end of 2022, at EG Solar had installed more than 2 gigawatts of PV products in the US and the European market. It's expected that at EG's module production will exceed 3.5 gigawatts by 2024. You can have a look at the table. Here is the facility of FEG Solar and the power capacity growth by scenario in Indonesia. Okay, the seventh and also the last one is about the Brazil market. And Neil said Brazil added 4.3 gigawatts of distributed solar in the first half of the year with a YOY growth of 25%. Brazil deployed 4.3 gigawatts of new distributed generation solar in the first 6 months of 2023. According to ANEEL, the country's regulator that included the connecting of 373,000 new systems to the grid under the net metering regime. By the end of June, the cumulative capacity of distributed PV system in Brazil, including installation up to 5 megawatts inside, is over 22 gigawatts. Those installations were distributed across more than 2 million arrays. In the first half of the year, the residential segment accounted for approximately 2.2 gigawatts of the newly installed capacity, while the commercial segment contributed over 1 gigawatt. The remaining capacity was represented by small-scale solar parks. And from the histogram, you can see the installation DG in Brazil market. Okay, that's all of the how the market I want to share today. Thanks for your listening. If you have any advice or idea, please feel free to communicate with us. Thank you.